Welcome back to Straight Facts on Friday. We are missing Staffy. We don't know where Staffy is. Staffy.
Anyone sees him?
He's done a Burton. I'm just checking if he didn't message me last night saying he can't come on. No, nothing. He hasn't messaged me since Wednesday. We don't know where Staffy is. Why has Staffy not arrived?
Man United have broke him.
That could be it.
That's what it is.
Could be it. He's not here to face the music and dance. We've got loads to talk about today on the show. Obviously, a big topic is going to be surrounding Manchester United. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. We're looking ahead at some of the games this weekend. Don is joining us on the show as well. Maybe Staffy will arrive, but he hasn't arrived. No one knows where he is. Don, have you seen him around? Is he about? Is he in East London? I don't know. We don't know where he is. He's gone missing, is our Staffy. Maybe he slept in. Maybe he slept in after the stress last night. We're going to be touching on the weekend and the games that are coming up, plus any talking points you want us to cover. Make sure you share in the comment section below or the live comment section. I wanted to start off with Man United, but Staffy isn't here. So maybe we'll come back to Man United as Staffy arrives, because I really want to get his sort of take on that. But Don, another good result last night for Chelsea.
What's going on now? Don's glitching out.
Don's now gone. Oh, no.
It's not Friday the 13th, is it? No, it's...
No, the 4th. I had to check then.
Yeah. Oh, he's back. Is he back? You back, Don? You're muted.
Hold on. I'm back now. I'm back.
All right. Right, yes, you are back. We can see you back. We got you. We finally got you back. Yeah, look, I wanted your Wi-Fi is bugging, bruv.
Big time.
Don't use
You're not
Wi-Fi.
that far from me, Don. You're down the road from me. You must do better with this Wi-Fi, mate. You need to get on what I've got. He's back now.
I just closed all my tabs, bro. I had all my shit open. Hold on, let me come back in.
Yeah, I do that, mate. I do that. Just funny, like I don't have great Wi-Fi where I live, actually. So I've been using the satellite stuff, but I've just like got a lease line. It's coming in like a couple of months because I'm getting 50 gig up and 50 gig down. But the thing is, as long as you've got 100 megabytes, as long as you've got an Ethernet cable, you should never have those issues. I don't get it. Like, honestly. I'm jealous of the areas everyone lives in, but that was bad. But look, I'll start with you then. I mean, Chelsea looked good last night, didn't they? I don't know if you watched their game, but Chelsea looked really solid last night.
Yeah, like, Chelsea, I hate to say it, here he's back. They are looking good. Obviously, we played Ghent. We beat them 4-1. Bit better than what Chelsea did, but you know what I mean? They're maybe starting to take this competition more seriously after they had those struggles against Serbia at the, to qualify. They're realizing it's not as easy as they thought it would be and taking it more seriously. And yeah, so far this season, Chelsea have exceeded expectations, but we're waiting to see the big challenges, the big games, the real tough challenges, how they can perform. But yeah, Don, I don't know what you thought, mate. Now you're back. Look, the internet's looking crisp. How you feeling, mate?
Bro, I had all my work tabs open, so I closed all of them, innit? But yeah, bro, listen, right now you're spitting facts, man. At the beginning of this tournament, it was obviously at the beginning of these lot trying to learn what Maresca's trying to do. I'm trying to say, like, we literally make 11 changes for this competition. So these lot have to learn how to play together. But one thing that I'm noticing now, Terry, is that the second team is now understanding what's expected from the first team, right? On and off the ball. Yesterday we controlled the game. Off the ball, we're winning the ball back within like 5 seconds, bro. I know we obviously conceded 2 goals, but they were more just lapse of concentration. Like the first goal, everyone got sucked into the fucking ball. Everyone was ball watching. We left my man by himself back post. And the second goal, these lot just kind of took their foot off the gas. It was like easy. We're about to win the game. You shouldn't be doing that. That's something Maresca spoke about towards the end of the game. Well, after the game, he said, we need to be professional throughout the whole game. You can't be looking at it and thinking, it's easy. It's an easy win now. It would have been a better scoreline if we didn't concede a goal. But very good performance yesterday from Dewsbury Hall. He's someone that's been getting cooked by the fan base. you know, because
Wait,
he has.
John, I have to call you out on your Michael Owenism there. You said it would have been a better scoreline if we didn't concede a goal.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, isn't that obvious?
No, but the thing is, what I'm saying is we controlled the game pretty much. We controlled the game. I didn't really feel under any threat. It was just lapses of concentration is what I'm saying. So if we obviously beat them 4-0, it would have looked a lot better is what I'm saying. Yeah, 4-2 makes it look like it was a bit of a funny one. You know what I'm trying to say? It wasn't a funny game. If you watch the game, it was very, very smooth sailing. I didn't feel any threat from these guys, right? And they weren't even that bad. We were just a lot better than them, yeah? Mudryk, another good game from him. You know, people will try to tell me, oh, yeah, well, it's only the Conference League. If he doesn't perform in the Conference League, they'll say he can't even perform in that competition. You know, him and Vega right now, they're actually building a nice relationship. And what I've noticed about Vega when he plays with Mudryk, he trusts him. He constantly gives him the ball, And for me, I feel like that helps Mudryk and gives him the confidence, bro. Because when you're playing football and you feel like your teammates don't want to pass to you, it makes you feel like you're shit. You know what I'm trying to say? So the fact that he's getting the ball a lot is actually helping him now. And he got a very good assist for Vega. Vega, again, I actually put in my you know that list that you sent before the season, Terry, for like what players to look out for.
Yeah.
And I put Fatal, right? And again, he's another player I had no idea about. We just signed him. We got the here we go out of nowhere. But bro, he's been a breath of fresh air, man. He comes in very physical at the back. He can play multiple positions. The way he plays it in between the lines, the leadership, like I've said, he just brings that dog into the team. You know what I'm trying to say? Because we were too weak last season. Our manager was weak, and our players it was leaking down to the team. You know, so for him, very good performance. I was happy with Dewsbury Hall for his goal as well. It kind of felt like a I'm here moment finally at Chelsea, because obviously to move from Leicester to go and move to a big club, it takes a little bit of getting used to, bro. You're playing with better players. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's a similar.
I haven't really understood. Again, I haven't seen it. Maybe you the whole cooking of him by your fan base. I first time I've heard anyone say that is you saying it, but I know you're not lying. That just strikes me as sort of strange, really, because I know you've had there've been some midweek games now, but it's your manager's been finding the formulas that work. It's been working, which means there's been very little room on Premier League match days for changes and opportunities. And then when your team has had changes, it's a whole group of, it's nearly in the League Cup games and in the Europa League games, it's been anywhere between sort of 8 to 11 changes per game with players that have built no chemistry with one another, unlike the main sort of 8 or 9 players that have played the majority of your Premier League games. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to kind of like come to fruition, as an example. But the one thing you said that I think is so important, and this is about, I always call this out, like keeping the same energy. Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp for the past 8 years were praised for the fact that their team, like their teams looked the same in terms of how they played, no matter how many changes happened. The kids had come in from the academy for a League Cup game and they would look the same. They'd have 3 or 4 injuries. They may not win every game because the quality would be lower, but they'd have 3 or 4 injuries and the team would kind of be able to complete the manager's instructions, follow the game plan in the exact same way. And in a very short space of time at Chelsea under Maresca, it feels now after 3 or 4 failures in terms of the head coaches, you were getting that right. And I think it proves a lot of people like yourself, me, Ches, right, in the sense of, although there were some player issues last year and some have been moved on and you've improved in the market, I think it just goes to prove that Poch was that big issue that a lot of us were talking about last year, where he just wasn't getting the best out of individuals. His structures weren't working and consistently playing players out of position. And it just feels that everybody at Chelsea looks so much more comfortable this year. That's why there has been such strides forward in the way you play.
Exactly, bro. And if you look, he's you know, so many individuals are starting to improve. You know, the likes of Colwill, you know, he's improved a lot. Cucurella's just carried on doing what he was doing last year. And ultimately, that makes the team play better, right? If you're improving players individually, the team as a whole will start to look a lot better. I kept saying last season, Terry, football is not rocket science, right? Poch kept coming out talking about experience. We haven't got that. We haven't got this. And I kept telling you, bro, you shouldn't have taken the job then, because you knew the cards that you were dealt with. Maresca hasn't complained about the squad once. I know it's been boosted, but even if we had him last season, bro, I reckon we win a lot more games and probably even get top 4, right? Because this is a manager that I looked at. I'm looking at the likes of, again, what's his name? Dewsbury Hall. He spoke about how clear he is in terms of the coaching. Harry Winks spoke about how it's the best manager that he's had. People will laugh at that because he's had Mourinho. But end of the day, Harry Winks played his best football with this manager. Yeah. When West Ham beat us a couple of seasons ago, he was the guy that actually done all the tactics and that. Remember that season, Lawless? I think it was 2019 when under Pellegrini, yeah? He was the one that actually done the tactics, and they were looking to sack Pellegrini, and apparently he was meant to take over on a short-term basis. I don't know what happened after that, but he was the guy doing it. So I've been familiar with Maresca, and I did say he's going to surprise a lot of people. You know, he's going to surprise a lot of people, and that's what he's doing right now, man.
Do you not give some credit to the fact that if we look at last season under Poch, right? Towards the tail end of the season, we did start to see a massive improvement in Chelsea. You started to pick up the results, and then obviously, you know, Poch goes. So certain Chelsea fans were sort of disappointed because, you know, things were improving, and now Maresca's kind of benefited. Like, he's come in off the back of what was a Chelsea on the upward trajectory, and that's what he's inherited. Not to take anything away from Enzo, but he's not coming into the mess that Poch came into. You know what I mean? So he's kind of benefited from that.
Into a mess. He created a mess. He's the one that created the mess. He's the one that decided to play Ben Chilwell left back. He's the one that decided to play Disasi right back. He's the one that decided to play Colwell left back. He's the one that was deciding to make the whole team imbalanced, bro. Yeah, no one else, right? He had enough. He had more than enough players there, even with injuries, Lawless, to put out a basic lineup. That's all we was asking for as Chelsea fans, bro. And he did it 6 months later. He comes out talking about, oh, we're still working out the profile of the players. That's a massive red flag. He didn't know how to use the team. Same thing as Ten Hag. Ten Hag does not know how to use United players, right? There's a lot of players in United's team I don't really rate like that, but they're better than this. Yeah, they're better than this. I can pick out so many managers that can do a better job than what Ten Hag has done. You know, so he warped a lot of people's minds, bro. Gerrard warped a lot of people's mind. Aston Villa were in the relegation zone. Emery comes in, he gets them to finish 7th, bro, that season. Yeah, and if you looked at that team at the time, I remember I kept saying Aston Villa are not as bad as this. It's the manager, bruv. You have to look at that. You know, he's the one who takes shape of the manager, bruv.
Do you know, you're so right when you talk about that, because I saw so many posts yesterday from people saying, oh my God, look at Unai. After, they were brilliant, I thought, Unai Emery's men were against who were they playing? Bayern Munich. They were excellent. They really were, and they deserve absolutely all the plaudits that they're getting for that performance. They were absolutely amazing. No doubt about it whatsoever. They were great. But the problem that you have is that people still live in this world where they think the team, the squad, the club, the culture can be bad. You hire a decent manager and it changes. It will never change that quickly if all those things were legitimately rancid. If you actually delve into it with Aston Villa, from when they got relegated until this moment, there has been a process in place to try to get to this point. There's been a process in place. There's been a system in place. The only real mistake, of course, they'll have signed some dud players. Everybody does that. The only real mistake they've made in this 4 or 5 year process at Villa was hiring Gerrard, which is why I sort of look at it from the perspective of you can always hire and make mistakes as owners. You've just got to go and rectify it. There's no way this was a relegation squad with a relegation culture, with relegation scouts, with relegation board of directors, with a relegation plan, with a relegation manager in Steven Gerrard, and then Unai Emery's come in and literally turned all that round himself. I'm taking nothing away from Unai Emery. He's done a brilliant job, but there's no way it's all been fixed by him. And look, Villa fans are probably a lot closer to this than we are. But when it all comes out, you'll see. You go look at Leicester's growth to them winning the league. Now, that was an achievement they didn't expect. But you look at what was going on behind the scenes to get to this point. Everyone's raving about the great job that McKenna's doing at Ipswich to get him to this point. It's true. But now my brother supports the League One team. They were there a couple of years ago. New ownership came in. Huge amounts of investment being spent with a massive plan to get back to the top. McKenna's done a great job on the field of play. But there was a club strategy in place before McKenna arrived. And the problem is, I think Chelsea had a strategy and they made mistakes within it. The issue that they had and why we weren't seeing the fruits of that strategy sooner is because the head coach wasn't right. But there's a reason that Maresca's improved. Yes, he is piggybacked upon what was being done over the last 2 or 3 years, But that should be how all clubs are run. It should never be the manager comes in and we start again from scratch. Otherwise, you'll never, ever, ever get to your end destination. There'll never be enough time.
And that's exactly why you will never see City go from Pep to Conte, bro. Yeah, I don't think City would even go to Tuchel, right? They would go to a manager who has the same principles as Pep in terms of possession style football, you know, playing on the front foot, trying to attack teams, that sort of play, right? A manager that's able to break down low blocks, you know. And another thing as well, Terry, bro, is Maresca spoke about the fact that he managed to keep James Justin and Ricardo Pereira fit majority of last season, bro. They had not one injury between them, bro. And James Justin came back from a big injury, same thing as Ricardo Pereira, right? And we're seeing it here at Chelsea. Everyone right now, apart from Reece James, is fit. Yeah, that's the medical team. The new medical team that we've got clearly are doing their job correctly. And at the same time, this possession style football, which is not rock and roll, constantly making people run and break themselves, is helping. Yeah, we had a lot of injuries in training, and that wasn't by mistake. And that's another thing that Ten Hag has brought to your club as well. That guy, I know your medical team, cool, you need to sort that out. You've got a new one as well, but he's definitely hurting these players in training. Because I had a similar sort of thing with Poch, right? Since Maresca's come in, we've been able to maintain fitness, right? And that's down to him as well. So you've got to big him up, man. Right now we're cooking. You know, I'm gonna be at the Bridge at the weekend as well. Hopefully this time we can go into this national break on a W. Because after that, bro, we've got some tough fixtures coming up. You know what I'm saying? We've got some tougher fixtures. That's when a lot more people that are still a bit skeptical, Hussam and them lot, they'll start to maybe change their mind about Chelsea if we get through it and with a couple of W's, bro. Because that's what we need to do now. We need to start beating the bigger teams, man.
No, I agree. I think I think you've set a good foundation. It's kind of going to that next kind of level. And listen, if Cole Palmer, I mean, I've made him my no, I haven't. I made him vice captain on my FPL this week because I just keep Haaland as captain every week with the amount of goals he scores. But yeah,
I made Palmer my captain last week, and I changed it for Salah. I changed it for Salah because I was looking at Wolves. They had this whole thing about everyone was ill. Salah tends to spag against Wolves. I thought, yeah, perfect option. But boy, I regretted it, man. I regretted it.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Obviously, you brought up Manchester. Welcome, Staffy. Did you oversleep?
No, you changed the time. We always go 3:30, and I was on a.
That's what I thought.
No, I messaged yesterday afternoon, 3 p.m. You didn't check it. There we go. No worries. Obviously, it was a disastrous night last night for Manchester United. Staffy again, 3 goals given away after a 2-0 lead. Bruno sent off. The defense all over the shot, and maybe the craziest piece of management I've ever seen in my life, and the best performing player on the pitch who looked amazing, scored and set up a goal, was taken off because he had to be rested for the weekend when it was 2-2. How are you feeling about it all this morning, mate? Or this afternoon here in the UK, but this morning in America?
I feel the same as yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I find myself, it's very difficult for me to be emotionally invested in this anymore. I think I only raged on the third goal. All the other goals, like when we scored and conceded, I just was like, yeah, okay. Oh, we went up. Yeah, we're probably going to concede soon. Oh, we conceded. Yeah, I expected it. So and I think that's the worst thing to happen to you as a fan. Once you're just numb to everything that happens to your team, whether it's good, it's bad, or bad, generally, why are you a fan anymore? It's just like you can't even enjoy it, because the most important thing about being a fan is just being emotionally invested. And I'm really not with this team anymore. But when you talk about yesterday's game, I'm not really surprised, because I've watched this game about 3, 4, 5 times already. You know, and I'm not talking about those 90 minutes. I'm talking about I saw this game happen in the Ten Hag era multiple times. In Europe, there's a funny stat. We've played 10 games in Europe with Eric Ten Hag. 4 of them, we've led by 2 goals and ended up not winning the game. So this happened 4 times. That's 40%. It happened against Galatasaray, happened against Copenhagen, happened against Sevilla at home, and it happened obviously yesterday. So
look at those teams that you're reading out as well, Staffy. Look at those teams you're reading out, bro.
Yeah, it's nothing new, and and you know what, Don? What's so embarrassing is that this is not the first time we drop into the Europa League post Sir Alex. I think we're at a 50% rate now between being in Europa League or not since Sir Alex left. So in about 11 to 12 years, we made the Europa League 6 times. I remember the first few times when we made Europa, it was a bit embarrassing because we felt like we belonged in the Champions League. Even if I win the Europa, I'm not really proud of it. You know what I'm saying? Now we go into the Europa and we're no longer the favorites. We're no longer, no one looks at United and thinks this team should be in the Champions League. They just, the Giant has just like, fell this time and they're in the Europa League. No one looks at it that way anymore. We look at the squad and we look at this United team and they belong there. If anything, they might have belonged in the Conference League because they don't perform like a Europa League team, let alone a Champions League team. And that's how far we have fallen. You look at the 90 minutes yesterday, that doesn't look like a squad that's been spent 600 million on. It generally doesn't. Like, put all your bias aside, whether you're a United fan or a rival, if you watch that game, you wouldn't believe that that team cost 600 million. And we played a Porto team that, listen, I didn't even know that, but this Porto team has been going through a transition. They had a president step down. They had this manager apparently was the assistant manager to the old manager that they had. They've had a few sales. So they're going through a transition phase themselves. And you could technically see, I mean, I watched them yesterday. I didn't feel like this is the old Porto. I didn't feel like that's even Porto from last year, the one that gave Arsenal troubles. We put 3 past them and we still couldn't win the game. And that just shows you how poor both teams are. But we cost, as I said, our team cost 600 million. Our coach is coming out all the time saying that he's the second most successful coach in England right now after Pep. And you don't see that. Everything he says, you cannot see it with your eyes. Like what he's saying does not match what you see on the pitch. And it's an absolute embarrassment. And if you want to talk a little bit more technical about the game, Terry, I mean, like it's only right that you start with the back line. That back line absolutely got decimated yesterday. And it's, I know there's a lot of individual errors, but it's a reflection of what this manager has done to his team. This back line absolutely got better to, what's his name again? Samuel Amaridium. That's the guy that made fun in the summer for Chelsea being linked to. Everyone called him the new Lukaku because the guy has no touch, but you know what he has? He has physicality, he has pure dominance, and he cooked De Ligt yesterday. I was on Straight Facts here during the summer when we got linked with De Ligt, and you remember my facial reaction. And you and Lawless were like, "Oh, you're only negative with your club." This is exactly why I was negative about this signing. I said the only reason I'm okay with it is because we ended up getting Euro, and I know Euro is my future. De Ligt, the way he got dominated yesterday on both goals is why he's never going to be an elite center back. That window for him to become a good center back to an elite center back has already passed him, because it passed him when he couldn't do it at Juve and it passed him when he couldn't do it at Bayern. This is exactly why this was always going to be an issue. This got absolutely cooked. He got and the fact that he played next to a 5'8" center back doesn't really help because he can't even share the duty with him. He can't do what Saliba and Gabriel do, where both of them can actually like lock up an attacker together. He got absolutely cooked, and there was no answer to it. And I look at the manager, and I'm looking at that first half, and I'm yet to check the stats. I just don't feel like even checking the stats. I can just use my eyes and see how many times they crossed the ball in. And if I'm De Ligt, and I'm drowning right now, and to be fair, he was locking up Samuel earlier in the game. He was winning everything in the box until he scored. But I'm looking at this manager, I'm like, what have you done to help me? Have you put in another center back to come in and help me clear out these headers? No. Have you changed the instructions where there's no more crossing being made into the box? No. They were spamming crosses for a whole 45 minutes, and the manager did nothing to adjust. I remember big manager, Jose Mourinho, would come into a game, and like if he sees he made a mistake, he would take out a player in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, why is Maguire not on? Why is Evans not on? Lisandro Martinez was completely useless in this team in the first half, and he did nothing to help his partner. And the manager couldn't adjust it. He should have been the first one off, but he kept him in the whole game. He was getting dominated in the air, and he was getting dominated on the floor because he's 5'8", and I said this before. He has the short man syndrome. That's why he likes to act tough. One second. He likes to act tough because he can't keep up with it on the pitch. I've been calling him out for a while now. Now people are starting to call him out. He's such a liability when we're not controlling the game because he doesn't have the pace, he doesn't have the physicality, and obviously doesn't have the height. He can't defend one-on-one, and he can't go out to wide areas. So he was completely useless yesterday. And the manager, the fact that he didn't bring on a center back to help was absolutely shambolic. And then I look at the second half. You mentioned Rashford, and I think this should be the biggest talking point. Rashford did nothing different yesterday in terms of instructions being given to him that he does every game. He's still on the touchline, aka very far away from the box, picking up the ball from far areas, has to dribble through past his defenders. That's the same instructions. The difference is he actually found a little bit of form yesterday. That first goal, listen, it's on the goalkeeper that he didn't save that. But to get yourself into that position and to even shoot it there, I gotta give him credit for it. Because when he dribbles into defenders, we make fun of him. The fact that he was able to skin 2 defenders and get a shot on target, that's on him. And it worked. And then another one, he set up Højlund for it. And let's be honest, if he wasn't greeting that last chance in the first half, we probably would be 3-2 up. When he passed a couple defenders, he skipped past them, probably lay it off there. But when you look at it, he was the only one that's actually offering something. That right-hand side for Porto was getting cooked. Like, he had that guy, he was barbecuing that guy. And then the manager takes him out and says it was instructions because, it was tactics because we were conceding a lot of chances on the left side. Hold on a minute. Since when has Rashford ever been a good defender? Rashford's always been a shit defender. It's just that today he was a shit defender, but he's a good attacker. So if you've played him in the past when he wasn't offering any defensive efforts on that side anyways. So what changed today? Why did today you looked at him and you were like, yeah, we're conceding chances off his side? It's always been a thing.
And it's crazy anyway, because we were open for the opening 5 minutes of the second half, as we always are, with or without Rashford on the pitch. We conceded. And the only reason Porto then stopped attacking. They tried to hold on to that lead, and that's why they stopped having so many attacks down our left-hand side. If it would have stayed 2-2, the left-hand side would have been attacked in the same way, because Garnacho would be following the exact same instructions that Rashford has been told to do. And it's why I don't care if people get at me anymore about defending the players. I'm going to defend them. I'm going to defend all of them, even the ones I don't want. Because I don't disagree with you that Lissandro looked awful last night. I'm not going to disagree with you that De Ligt didn't look awful last night. But there comes a point where you have to look at the fact that this was the 31st time since Ten Hag has been here. 31 times we've conceded 2 or more goals. It is the 24th time we've conceded 3 or more goals. Now,
more than anyone there, by the way. It's
more than anyone in the Premier League.
Conceded more
whether or not
than us in the league.
And this is why I was actually saying it on a video I did this morning. When I say call you out, is I wanted to ask you. I get you don't like Lisandro Martinez, but for me, I can't even have those player conversations because we were conceding like this and we looked just as bad when he was out injured the whole of last season. So for me, I'm at a point where I'm almost putting, if someone makes a mistake, like the goalie lets the ball fall through his legs, that's clearly on him for doing that. If somebody misses a sitter, I'll blame them for it. But most of our problems are structural with our team or managerial in the sense of, you're probably right when you've got a defender that's 5'9". He's 5'9", actually. He's not 5'8". He's 5'9". But when you've got a defender of that size, if a team is crossing the ball into the box a lot and they're starting to get some change out of it, you have to go and make that change. The manager has to make a change to adjust. If you're playing a game where you need 2 strong destroyers, you might play Ugarte and Casemiro at this point. If you're playing a team that's going to sit back against you and let you have the ball, you don't need to start with either of them. You can start with Eriksen and Mainu in the middle and have better ballers. He doesn't get his decision-making right regularly enough. We are not yet a complete squad where you can have a main 9 players that start against anybody and everybody, and you can adapt your style like Arsenal do right now, like Liverpool can we're not there yet as a squad, and every Man United fan knows it. But you said this earlier on, Don, and you're spot on. We are not as bad as we look right now. This squad is not 24 times conceding 3 goals bad. Because if it was, we'd get relegated. Relegation teams don't concede 3 or more goals the amount of time that we do.
But Terry, this is the thing though. The manager's setting you up to fail. And that's why people kept trying to say, all I do is defend Enzo and that. Because it got to a point where I'm watching how he's using certain players, like playing Enzo as a 10, playing Enzo in all this space, playing Caicedo in all this space. It's literally identical to what he's doing to the likes of Mainu. You know what I'm saying? The space between your centre backs and your midfielders, it's an absolute mess. And that's why for me, when I looked at Poch last season, I'm looking at it thinking, how can we go to Old Trafford and make United look like a fucking decent team, right? Because their manager's shit as well, yeah? You know what I'm saying? So I fully get what Terry's saying, because right now, the whole structure of the team, it's just not allowing people to thrive. And the thing is, when you've got the whole team basically playing badly, yeah, that's when you know it's the coach more time, bro. That's when you know, because it's like, one person, cool, you can look at them as an individual. Everyone or most people, come on, bruv.
Yeah, you know and when he said what he did, now I understand about rotation when you've got 2 big games in a week. Why do I understand it? Fergie essentially invented it in English football. He essentially invented rotation and made it a thing and was successful with it by having a squad that can try and win multiple competitions. So I get it. But I have never seen, And some people, look, there's a lot of, and the reason why I don't like the player talk, there's a lot of agendas going on around players. People that don't like Rashford, not really praising his performance last night. Some saying, well, he was at fault for both goals. But it's an instruction. He is told to stay where he is. There was a great sort of almost bird's eye view of our team last night that showed Rashford, Sandro Martinez on the ball. You had Delo inverted inside, and then Rashford being told to hug the touchline really high. And there was this gulf of space where we are one poor pass or something outside of our control. One good tackle away from the opponents, because we do this as football fans. How many times has one of your strikers had a shot and a keeper saved it, and we've gone, how didn't you score that? But yet when it's the other way around, we go, great save, right? It's always from our perspective. All it takes is one good tackle from Porto, and they've got 50, 60, 70 yards to run into. Now, the difference is this. I am not saying our players are immune from criticism, but if you expose Gabriel and Saliba in that way, they're still going to be brilliant, but they're going to be exposed and split open more regularly. Liverpool, when they had that workman-like midfield in front of them, and you couldn't penetrate the midfield, their backline looked invincible. As that midfield got a little weaker and Klopp didn't quite get it right, Van Dijk would still make brilliant tackles and challenges, but everybody was questioning him last season and the season before. Is he over the hill? Why? Because he was being caught out of position more, because the midfield was leaking, because there was more space, and it was exposing him. This is where I hate the tension my players get here. Until we are getting the basics right, until we are getting the fundamentals right, I find it so hard to overly judge them. You three have all had proper jobs in your career. If you started a job and you were given inadequate training, inadequate resources, and inadequate system access to complete your job properly, it would be absolutely ridiculous to give you a poor assessment and go, oh, you're not good enough for this job. And that's how I feel about these players right now. And it doesn't mean that I think they're all amazing, because that's what people will twist that into. But it's crazy for me. One of the big stories that's come out today is that Tuchel is going to come under consideration again if and when he is sacked this weekend. Staffy, what's your thoughts on Tuchel potentially coming in from next week as the new Man United manager?
At this point, I'm going to be really honest, and I want to be very respectful of United fan. It doesn't matter what you think about managers anymore. Don can come into United right now and we'll do a better job. It's just that simple. No, it's that simple. It's that basic. Terry, I don't know who you want. You don't know who I want. I don't know who KJ wants. We all might have different opinions. The one guarantee is all of us are right. The manager, whoever we want that comes in, will do a better job. We are beyond, like...
Can I ask you a question, Staffy? Can I ask you a question? Because I actually think this. I don't want him, but I think we'll be a harder team to beat and a more stable team, even if Southgate was here. I actually think we'd be better.
He would set us up in a way.
That's how bad we are.
Yeah.
Sorry, but go on.
No, you're right. He would set us up in a way where we're very boring, and a lot of people wouldn't want to play against us because it's just annoying to play against us. That's that simple. Because as much as England are boring, you always watch England. I don't think I've ever watched England get better. Like, I've generally never seen England get better than a game. They have just too much talent to play that shit. But that's beyond that point. Southgate would then generally make us set up better. But it doesn't mean that I want Southgate. I'm just saying that's just how bad Ten Hag is setting us up. Ten Hag, and I keep saying this every week. I'm on the terrace at least a couple times a week now, and I say the same thing. There's a pure lack of coaching going at United because everyone looks bad. And it doesn't matter the opposition anymore. It doesn't matter the opposition. It doesn't matter the competition. It doesn't matter who's on the pitch. The one thing that's always in common is that everyone looks bad, is that we concede a lot of chances. We concede a lot of goals. We never control midfields. We never score goals. These are the same things we've been saying for over 2 seasons right now. So any manager coming in would make us more difficult right now. Tuchel, one of the things, listen, he's not my first choice, but since this is the question being asked to me, and Don can actually help me out a little bit here. When he first went to Chelsea, I remember one of his quotes is, "I'm gonna build a team that no one wants to play against, or no one enjoys playing against," something like that. Which basically means he came in with the logic of saying, the first thing I gotta do is be a hard team to beat, and that is correct. Most managers, when they go into a new job, the first thing they do is they fix their defense. Why am I leaking a lot of chances? Why am I leaking a lot of shots? Why am I getting beat at home too much? These are the things. The next manager needs to come in, if it's Tuchel, if it's anyone else. When they come in, the first thing they have to look at is the record of Old Trafford. Why did this team score 1 goal only and concede 6 goals in 2 games? Actually, we conceded 3 and 3 against Liverpool and Spurs. Why did I concede 3 goals twice at home? We need to stop that. That's the first thing they need to stop. We need to be, again, a team that's hard to beat. Once that happens, you can start adding other elements. Because at this point, we're sinking so much that some of these players are going to be too far gone. Because not all these players are bad. Some of them are just bad because of the manager. But the longer you enable this and the longer this manager stays, I don't know if you'll be able to save everyone else. There's some players that just came in. Someone like Euro hasn't kicked the ball yet. I'm not worried about him. But if he was a part of this, I'd be worried. I'd be like, he's 18. This is not the development we should give him. I'm starting to get really, really worried for Kobbie Mainoo because he's 19.
Yeah.
We all know the talent that he has. But what's the development that he's had over the last season? Tactically, I don't think he's developed anything. He's a very brilliant footballer on the ball. But how did a manager teach him how to play ball? Louis van Gaal used to say this: I teach players how to play ball here, and their feet is just the tools. But I teach you how to play football here. I look at all these players. Yeah. I don't know if any of them have advanced over here.
Bro, do you know what is interesting, right? When you actually think about Marcus Rashford as an example, the best football he played for us, he didn't score. It was maybe under Hull. That was when he was maybe he's what I call his fluent best, where he was just fluent. He didn't overthink. I'm not attacking Jose or Ollie or even Ten Hag per se, but different managers with different styles of football that want to coach. We have to try and get this now. The older players, they're done now. They're not going to get much better than they already are. There's maybe a bit more consistency if the structure is better. But the youngsters need this because I don't care how talented Lenny Yoro is. If we don't fix this, he'll flop. This is why, again, I find it so hard to out and out call out any player.
The thing is, though, Terry,
every player we've signed has gone backwards or not improved since nobody has joined Man United and continued to become a better player, hit a peak, and maintain that peak for even a couple of years. The best we had, Bruno came in, was amazing to begin with, but he has slowly and steadily got worse. And in the last couple of years, he's fallen. And again, I don't blame. If you're someone that doesn't like Bruno, his style of football, yes, I can now go in on him. That just isn't my way. This was someone that when he joined Man United, the whole world was like, oh my God, they've signed a real player here. But we haven't developed as a football team. So yeah, I do. Listen, I don't mind if it's Tuchel. I'm sort of in a position where I don't really mind who it is to a certain degree that comes in. Go on.
I was gonna speak about Tuchel because for me, look, I respect Tuchel for bringing me the Champions League. You know, I respect the fact that we only conceded 4 goals that whole competition. I respect the fact that he managed to get a Champions League trophy with Havertz, Werner, and Mount, bro, as your attackers, right? And Mount was fantastic in that tournament, and our defense, like I said, was very good. But for me, I always said like Tuchel in the league, there was just so many things that he didn't do well tactically, long term, you know. And in the end, you know, that the season before he got sacked, bro, we started to fall off from about January, right? We were scraping results. We just about made top 4, I believe, in that season. That season, going into 12th, remember we lost 4-1 to Arsenal in pre-season. He made his own signings, but just the whole vibe, it was like the players kind of checked out. They didn't want to play for him anymore. You know, he managed to squeeze a lot out of the quality that he had, but I'm just not overly convinced about Tuchel in the league. For me, I feel like he's more suited for like top competitions, setting up the team. In the league, I'm just not sure, man.
Yeah, I'm not sitting there thinking Tuchel's coming in. We've got this world-class manager. We're going to be challenging for the league in 3 years with him. It could happen. I'm just at this point where I don't think you get a lot of standard FC individuals that like go and get the best manager in the world, pay him whatever it takes and bring him in. But I don't think we're in a position to offer that type of manager an environment where they would want to be successful. You know, like sometimes you see players and they were in the top Prem players at big clubs and they get a bit older and they go to a lower league team and they like Sol Campbell did this and a few others where they quit pretty quickly. They're there a little bit of time and they go, do you know what? They look at the level, they look at the changing rooms, they look at the what they were and they go, nah, sod this. I think some managers are like that. If you've been growing your CV and getting to a higher level, you're winning all the major trophies. And then suddenly, yes, you're going to Man United, prestigious in name, prestigious in history. But you walk in and you look at this Frankenstein squad. You know, you're looking around thinking, I know that they've got plans to get back to the top. But that's 3 years. I've already gone through this hardship. We all do this in our own careers. Like what you're doing now in your job, Don, you know, you're doing it all to achieve your bonuses and hopefully get your promotions. In 4, 5, 6 years' time, you could be in a far more senior role. If another firm comes along and says, look, we want you to come in, but it means you've got to start back at this level and work your way back up again. Where's the motivation to do that? You're already there. You know, are you going to take the risk of dropping down again from a not level of club because the stature's there, but from a position that you're in? So I don't know if we can attract those managers that are at the peak of their powers right now. I think we have to look potentially right now at someone that can steady the ship for a few years, maybe win us some trophies whilst we're building out this squad to be ready for somebody else to come in and take us to another level. Now, it might be a Tuchel. I mean, look. I mean, I don't mind Thomas Tuchel. Look, but everyone knows my ideal candidate that's semi-realistic is Alonso. I like Alonso. I like Almiron. I'm a fan. I actually quite like Thomas Frank. I think he's a very good manager that could do a job at this point. He's very tactically astute. He understands how he wants to play. He understands, and this is important for Man United right now. It's why I like Alonso. I don't think we'll get him, but I like him because they understand that some games we can be the aggressor on the ball. There are other games where we've got to sit back, be hard to beat, and break down and attack from that point. And the thing is, Thomas Frank will get laughed at by some people. But again, I watch how Brentford play football, and you're talking pound for pound here. They play superior football to Man United in every way. They're stronger defensively, and they're better in their attack. Now, the only reason that Thomas Frank wouldn't work at Man United is if INEOS haven't fixed the player power issue and the players go, ugh, who are you? And if that's the case, then it doesn't matter who the manager is, he's going to foul. I quite like him. But I was watching European football this week, and I'm going to be very honest. I don't even know the names of the manager of Ghent. I don't know the name of the current Bologna manager. But I looked at how they played football, much better than Man United. The thing is, there are coaches out there that can make us play better football, that can make us harder to break down, that can make us harder to beat. They absolutely fundamentally exist. A lot of Man United fans, I think, have got to wake up and smell the coffee. Yes, I understand you pick support in this club in the middle of the Premier League era, in like the mid-2000s, when Fergie was dominating and you're used to everything being up here. We're not there anymore. We have fallen. We are broken. We need to be rebuilt. So yeah, there's a few names out there like that, but I'm a bit like, I'm not married to any one idea. You know, I'm not married to who, sorry?
Inzaghi, the guy at Inter Milan.
Yeah, I do. I don't think Inzaghi would come to Man United. I think the likes of Inzaghi, Simeone, Zidane, don't think any of them would come to Man United in this current state. I don't think any of them would turn around and take that risk. I think they're going to wait and see for what INEOS do over the next few years. Let's say Tuchel does, say Thomas Frank does come in, become a harder team to beat, grow in the league, win another FA Cup, build the squad out, start playing better and better football. But at the end of, say, 2 seasons' time, we look at it and think Frank isn't quite the guy, though, to beat Pep, to beat whoever the top managers are in the Prem. Then you might be able to turn around to an Inzaghi, a Zidane, whoever it may be, and say, look what we've built now. You've seen the progression. There's the money. Come in. I think that's the way it's going to have to be. You know, at the end of the day, Man City weren't able to attract the best manager in the world when they first got all those billions. They had to build their reputation back up. Now, Man United's reputation is historic. It isn't in the current situation right now. We are not an attractive proposition for the top managers.
For you guys, yeah. If Palace sacked Glasner, it would actually be a decent appointment. To be fair, like he had Palace balling when they had Olise. Right now, they've got guys like Kamada. I tell D all the time, Kamada's meaty. Yeah, if that's your Olise replacement, God save you, right? Because that guy's rubbish. Yeah. But yeah, like right now, bro. Listen, I'm looking at INEOS right now. They made a massive mistake keeping this guy. You know, that's why for me, I was very happy when Tuchel decided to get rid of Poch regardless, because that showed that we've got standards. It doesn't matter if we finish the season the way we did. You got to look at the overarching thing, and he hasn't been good enough, right? This week, bro. Yes.
This super chat here says, question for Terry. Straight answer, please. Don't waffle like Don. If INEOS keep Ten Hag despite the result, what's your position on INEOS then? Well, my position won't change. My position on them won't change in terms of thinking that's it. I'm done with them. It's over, but it will be a catastrophic mistake, and I'll hold that against them. That would be my position. It will be a case of that's wrong as far as I can see right now. Now we can't see beyond the end of their nose, and it's something that LB said this week. Again, a City fan, so he's got no reason to make Man United fans feel better. But his theory and thought is he thinks that INEOS have just kept him here this little bit longer. Maybe should have sacked him a few weeks ago to erode any and all support. And in fairness, even some of his biggest And I know Staffy's blocked some of them, but even some of his bigger supporters online in the last couple of days have been like it's time to go now. But I actually hope, I don't know why, I actually hope we win. Of course I do. And then still stack him, because I think just because I want to see what the reaction from, because there are a lot of people that want to come on the terrace and they know my views on INEOS. They know that I'm not going to say we're fixed before we are, and I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater because of mistakes. I'm going to give it time. But instead of just saying what they think, that they think INEOS are incompetent and we're never going to get back to the top, they almost want to sort of say it in a roundabout kind of way. And I just think, well, if you think they're not good enough ownership, just say it and have the chest. I wanted to ask you a question, Staffy, about something Mark Goldbridge said. Mark Goldbridge cooked last night because on his watch along, he celebrated the Maguire goal. He was happy that we didn't lose the game. He was happy that we got a draw. And he's being told by a lot of people online that it's wrong for any Man United fan to be happy that we didn't lose. And if we were to win or lose this weekend, it's also wrong for a Man United fan to be unhappy about it. Have you got a stance on this, or is it a case of let fans celebrate however which way they want? How do you kind of see? Because I saw that a lot, like a big civil war last night between United fans. Some happy that we didn't lose, some saying it's a disgrace that anyone celebrated the goal. Where do you stand on this as a United fan?
I'm actually happy you asked that. I understand people who celebrate. I mean, yesterday I didn't really celebrate, but yet at the same time, I didn't sit there and celebrate every Porto goal. I'm just sitting there. I said I was just numb to it. However, there are people that genuinely can't wait for Villa to beat us. There's people that still want us to beat Villa, and I understand both. I'm not gonna tell how anyone to feel. However, I just want to tell the people that think that they are a better fan because they're sitting there and they're just trying to collect top red points by supporting this manager no matter what. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. That's fine. You're not going to win no prize for it. There's no one that's going to shout you out. You're not actually going to get top red points because it doesn't exist, you know. But you're going to think like you're the superior fan, you're the super fan, you're the better fan. That's up to you. I need us to get beat to Villa. I'm not going to lie to you. As sad as this sounds. No, seriously.
Are you playing away?
What's that?
Are you playing away?
We're going away. I there's no need for me to want Villa to beat us because they will do it anyways. But I need it to happen. And it's sad that it's come to this point because I was hoping that INEOS are better than the Glazers. The Glazers didn't know football. And that's why I'm like, you know what? For Glazers the Glazers to understand a manager is bad, we need to lose horribly for them to get it. INEOS, they're footballing people. The fact that I have to sit here and wait for Ten Hag to mess it up so bad for you to see it is what makes me upset. Because I thought I could trust them, but I can't. I need the betterment of this football club. And the betterment of this football club is when Ten Hag leaves. It's that simple. I'm getting no bonus points for being the super fan that backs a manager. At the end of the day, this manager is an employee. He represents nothing to my life. He's actually done nothing for me in the history of this club for me to give him that backing like he's Sir Alex. This Sir Alex syndrome needs to go away with these fans. Stop comparing everyone to Sir Alex. Stop worrying about backing the manager when he's not performing. We'd all get fired from our jobs right now if we're not performing. No one is going to back us. This manager is an employee and he's absolutely sinking this club. We need to get beat the Villa so he can leave on this international break. And if he doesn't leave on this international break, I'm switching my focus from Ten Hag onto INEOS. Because now I'm looking at why did you come in with all this chest and big talk and saying about being the best in class when you clearly have one of the worst managers in class, but you're not taking action towards it. And that's where I stand.
You're going to be disappointed if you win, Staffy. Are you going to sort of not celebrate or be angry at the Man United goals?
I already said, Lawless, I am numb. When United win or score, it doesn't do anything for me.
It gets like that, bro. It gets like that.
I just don't care. I know it's a win. That's not going to mean anything. I would have loved to know that this manager is getting sacked regardless. So I can look at these games and be like, you know what? He's leaving. I hope we pick up the next 3 points in the Europa League and the next 3 points in the league. So when the next manager comes in, he's not already at a deficit of points. But I don't know that. But this manager's coming. I don't think people get it. This guy, Fabrizio tweeted today that this guy's coming out and saying that he is not even worrying about that. Like the fact that he's completely dismissing it is actually pissing me off. Like it's getting me angry because he's not acknowledging it. He's acting like everything is okay.
Yeah, but he is, but he isn't though. He isn't. He's acting like he doesn't notice it. But that's the point. He's acting like he doesn't notice it. He is absolute. The reason that he took Rashford off is for me proof that he is desperate to keep his job and he's not thinking straight. At the same time, that this is why I won't. Sir Jim has just spoken about this situation. He's just been asked about the Ten Hag situation, and he has said so. This is Sir Jim replies about the Ten Hag's future and could he be sacked. This is verbatim what he has just said. He said, "I don't want to answer about that. I like Eric as he is a very good coach, but at the end of the day, which again I think sensible for your employer to say at this point, he says, but at the end of the day, it's not my call. The management has to decide, i.e." Ashworth and Barada, the people that he has employed. It's up to them after they join the club in June. And so it's all very fresh. And I think this is something people have to remember as well, is that the people that are currently deciding his future weren't even employed when he had to continue. Does that make sense? Because of Man City and Newcastle and the like not allowing their guys to leave earlier, there was this overlapping period where we had to decide on who was going to be managing us next year, but we didn't have all the new people in running the club. And I think that all these things, when it comes to this is why when people say, are you not crazy angry with INEOS? No. But the people actually making the day-to-day decisions have been here since June. And yes, it hasn't started very well, there's no doubt. But let's look at Aston Villa right now. We already spoke about it. They got relegated a few years ago, got back into the Prem. You know, Dean Smith and co were doing a good job. They're improving. They're buying more technical players. They're getting better. They then hired a manager after Dean Smith to take them to another level. He nearly got them re-relegated. If by the logic that people are pointing towards me that I should now turn on INEOS because of one mistake thus far, and by the way, you could be right, they're incompetent. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. If Villa fans turned on their ownership and went scorched earth on their club as soon as that happened, well, maybe they're not where they are now. And there's something. There's something in that where I just sometimes feel that you've got to take stock. He then went on to say, now he actually said, now they need to take stock, make some sensible decisions and go from there. Now, I like what Sir Jim has said there as well, because I don't want Sir Jim making the decision about the future of a manager, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe has no football experience. He's a billionaire, great businessman, but we do not need bankers and billionaires making football decisions. We need footballing brains to do it. They are going to be judged on what they do. I mean, again, I'm a bit like Staffy. Ideally, I'd like to play badly and nick a win, or play badly and draw and still sack him, because I do want the points, because people keep saying our season's over. I don't think it is. We know this squad's good enough to win. The squad's good enough to win trophies. We've won them 2 years running, right? So a more competent head coach comes in. We could still win up to 3 trophies this year and progress in the league. So this idea that the season is done from this point, I can't buy that personally. But on the Goldbridge thing, I just look at it this way. I don't know what's happened to the YouTube world. I feel sad, really, because all you ever see now when somebody puts an opinion out there that others don't like is people sort of calling you a clown, but sort of like, are you only saying that for attention? No, I'm saying it because it's my opinion. I don't think Don has his... We all at times laugh about some of the things Don says, right? Because Don has chest. But Don means them, you know? Staffy is allowed to get upset and angry and shout at the team when they can see the goal. I'll tweet Staffy when I see him say things. He's my bro, and say negative when he says things. But he knows I'm joking. What I'm getting a bit sick and tired of in the football fan content world is everybody sort of calling everybody else out if they have an opinion that they don't agree with. But then instead of challenging their opinion, they try and make it sound like you're on the payroll at the club, or you're doing it.
I was told that yesterday. I was told I'm a paid actor. I don't know who's paying me, but I need some money.
Yeah, so this is what you get. But this is what's annoying about it, right? The guys that will call, the guys typically that will call out Mark Goldbridge or Don Robbie are on the payroll at their clubs because they're a little bit too positive. Those same people get called paid actors by others. And I just sit there and think, don't you all realize one thing? All of those ad hominem attacks are a way of trying to shut down your opinions and your narrative and your thoughts without actually challenging what you've said. If Mark wants to celebrate the draw, he's allowed to celebrate the draw. If I don't want to celebrate the draw, I'm allowed to not celebrate the draw. In the cold, hard light of day, we all actually want the same thing. And that's our football team to become better. And there is a big debate. We're going to have this over the international break of how much influence do fans actually have on how good or bad their team is. And I want to have this conversation because Arsenal are a great case in point, especially if they win a major trophy this year. Because wouldn't it be amazing that since they started to become a little bit more positive as a collective, they become a better football team on the pitch and potentially might win a major trophy versus 5 or 6 years of absolute madness and anger and frustration that at no point improved the team.
But Terry, you make a good point there, because one thing I hate about the bridge is how toxic it is, right? And I'll go to a lot of games, right? And listen, behind me, the first game against City, I'm hearing these guys moaning and groaning, or why is the build-up so slow? And I'm looking at these guys like, bro, like, if we try to rush what we're doing, we're going to give the ball away. You're right. You have to play like this to make sure you're not making mistakes, right? Jackson, the whole time he's been here, most of the time, they've been getting on his back. Last game at the bridge, he didn't score, bro, but he had some good chances to score. He comes off, they clap him off. And why is that? Because the team right now is starting to look good. The team right now is actually building a bit of chemistry. They're buying into Maresca, what Maresca's trying to do. And the fans seem to be a little bit more together now, even at the bridge. I was shocked, bro. When I saw them clapping Jackson off, I nearly shed a tear, bro.
And I get I get the frustration. I just suppose it depends on the levels that it goes. The way I look at it is this with Man United fans, and this is I have to reflect on myself because I have moments where I scream and shout. So I'm not pretending to be whiter than white and never done these things. But I sort of think for 11 years we've been very, very angry online. People screamed and we've shouted and we've condemned and we've, to a point, players have been abused, come off social media. We have pushed, we've protested, we've done everything. We ain't got better though. So the idea that being angry makes your football team better, equally being really positive, I mean, does that help? Either I want to have, it's not the show for it, but I want to have the conversation, but a sensible conversation about it. Because I feel like we've got to this point where it used to just be, well, that's your opinion. Great. That's my opinion. Great. We'll debate who's right or wrong. The audience decides. Now it's just become a little bit, if someone out there has an opinion that doesn't sit right with my ideology, I'm going to go mad. And I think we're not deciding, about women's abortion rights or tax rises or immigration policies, like things that are genuinely serious and important. It is just fucking football. And the way people are getting with one another over it is mad to me. Like, genuinely mad.
I'm glad you said that. Let me call out Matt as well, because I saw Matt at me today with the article, this Lee Carsley thing about Palmer left back and just ridiculous stuff, yeah? And I'm like, bro, like, why are you at me in this? Because everyone here, I'm sure, can sit down and recognize that Cole Palmer at left back is absolutely useless, bro. Yeah, we need to be playing that guy as a 10. But he's still upset at the fact that Saka got played at left back, and obviously Ian Wright said he should be playing at left back. And for me, Saka should be playing at right on the right, but next to Palmer, because I think they've got a good relationship, But he's trying to start something because he's not happy with what happened before. And to me, that's just strange, bro. Very, very strange. You know what I'm trying to say?
Bro, I mean, I have it. I got a DM. Sorry, I'm gonna go to Dan in a minute. I spoke for a moment, but I got someone DM me last night, really late, about 3 a.m. Now look, I work late on match nights, but I ain't up at 3 a.m. on Twitter. Even if I'm awake, I'll be with the boys, I'll be with the family. I ain't on socials generally that late. Sometimes, but not often. And he messaged me saying, "You're such a hypocrite." And sometimes I indulge it. I said, "Oh, why am I a hypocrite?" Started off with texts, then we went to voice notes. And text, "Why am I a hypocrite?" Because you want Ten Hag sacked, but you think Arteta's doing a good job, but Ten Hag's won more trophies. I said, how does that make me a hypocrite? I think the situations are different. It makes you a hypocrite because they're in the same situation, but you're treating them both differently. So I thought I'd break it down. So I sent him a voice note and I said, just answer me these questions. I said, do we both agree that Arteta and Arsenal were very close to winning major trophies? Even yes. I said, cool. I said, I think they can get over the line with him. Do you agree? He went, no, I don't think they can. I said, okay. So we've got common ground that we think they're really close, but I think that Ten Hag, that he can win a major trophy. You think they can't? Yes. I said, cool. When it comes to Ten Hag, do you think he's ever going to make us consistent in the league? And sorry, I don't think he'll ever make us consistent in the league, and he'll never even get us close to winning the Premier League or Champions League. Do you agree? I mean, yes. I said, cool. So how am I a hypocrite? So we both see the situations as different, right? How am I a hypocrite? And he was like, oh, I see what you mean now. And sometimes I just think, I don't know if people even know the meaning of all these words they use. I definitely sometimes say the wrong words and people call me out and I learn. But I'm like, that's not what a hypocrite isn't. I'm not a hypocrite because I have a difference of opinion to you guys. It's like I don't see the situations the same. But I'm like, even if I am a hypocrite, why are you DMing me at 3 o'clock in the morning? How is it that important to your life? Do you know what I mean? But in the end, it turns out me and him agree about everything, barring he doesn't think Arteta can get them over the line, and I think they potentially can. And I'm like, so we agree on 95% of things, but here you are at 3 o'clock in the morning abusing me. And in the end, he's like, yeah, I suppose so, but have a good day. And like, it's cool now. Like, he followed me, I followed back. But I was like, imagine that, 3 in the morning, when you should be sleeping next to your woman, having a good time, having a horizontal hula. You're messaging me, calling me a hypocrite. When it turns out, on 95% of your thoughts around football, we completely agree. But on that 1-5%, you're out here doing a madness. It is strange to me. It's strange, but I hope you're well. I'm not going to say his name because some people might know who he is, but he's an all right guy. Debate is healthy for football. The issue is that people get very entrenched in their ideas and attack each other. Is helping no one. We all want our team successful and should try to move towards that. Couldn't agree more. Unless it gets too personal with some people, which I used to do, and I just try my best to not do it anymore. I really do. But even when you're not being personal, I was calling out like Brandon the other day for like saying his season was over when he got the injuries, and people are at me going, "Why are you calling that Turkish?" I went, "I didn't." They said, "You were having a go at people that said the season was over when there was injuries." I was like, "Yeah, but I was referring to Brandon who comes on my show. I didn't know Turkish said that. I didn't watch the show." Like, it's people like always looking for a beef. It's very weird. Big up Turkish and everyone over there. Staffy, cat trade, you like it? Cat trade, you like it or not? Big up, lads. What?
Some US
it's a player the Knicks just got.
Okay. Sorry.
Listen, all I'm saying is, listen, forget about United, bro. We're going for an NBA title this season. My season kicks off October 22nd. Forget this football thing. No. NBA is where it's at.
I did want to ask you very quickly, Staffy. Rasmus scored a good goal, didn't he?
You have a weird obsession with Rasmus. You know, let me call you out for being a hypocrite, actually. I sat here after a match reaction. I said Rasmus should start ahead of Bruno. And then yesterday, I called him up for a tweet, not for the goal. Sorry, for an Instagram post. And you say, I'm mad because he scored. What is the correlation? I'm angry because I saw an Instagram. It could have been anyone else. I would have called that out the same. But you said I'm angry he scored. Did you watch my match reaction? Sorry, my watch.
I wouldn't call it hypocrisy. I'm just trying to wind you up. That's all. That's all it is. I'm just
a little bit.
I actually agree. His tweet was read the room. It was ridiculous. Like, don't tweet after we just
today. I saw apparently Delo posted something. Rashford posted something. One more player, I can't remember who.
Honestly,
I saw all of them today.
Do you know what I feel like saying? Again, if I could get in a room with these players, I would say to them, please get better. Like, I swear they pick PR companies to run their accounts who don't understand football. Because anyone who understands football would not have tweeted then. You know when to tweet, when not to tweet. You know when to say positive things. When like Man United fans are so annoyed with the apologies. It's like, none of you ever apologize again. Even if you do something bad, but we don't want it, right? They just don't know what I swear because a lot of these PR companies are full of like yardie-dar lefties in London. I bet none of them watch football, and they sit there, they go on Chat TTB, and they just say, write me an inspirational quote about scoring a goal after being out injured, and it writes them a quote, and they post it, and they go home. You know, Hubert and I don't know Cuthbert go home, and suddenly Rasmus is sitting there going, no, I'm getting trouble online.
It's just a lack of self-awareness, honestly.
No, I agree. If INEOS can't see beyond results and evaluate context, we're effed anyway. We need wins. I will never, I think, me celebrate a loss. I'll celebrate a goal. Interestingly, I get where you're coming from. When Rashford scored and Rasmus scored, I did cheer. Like, I can't. It's like a natural instinct. It's like when you get your leg hit with a hammer in the doctors, your leg flies up. I can't. When my team does something good, I can't not be happy. It's very, very hard. But I do agree. If INEOS keep it, if we do win on Sunday and they keep him, that's a bigger red flag for me than keeping him in the summer, because the performances need to be evaluated. If you need to find a manager like Newcastle did with Howe, build an identity to establish the club, I think Roger Schmidt would work. He has good tactics.
Who's that?
I don't know. I haven't heard it. About a German football manager, it says here. Who does he manage? He manages. Oh, he used to manage Benfica. Is it still at Benfica? No, just left Benfica, I think. Well, I'll just go onto his Wikipedia page. I don't know much about him at all. So he just left He left Benfica in the summer. He was at Benfica for a couple of years before that. PSV. Interesting. He's been at a few places. He was at Salzburg. He was at Bayer Leverkusen. He kind of does 2 or 3. He's an interesting one. He kind of does a couple of years at every single club. I'd have to do a bit more research. He's won a few trophies as well. But yeah, listen, I'll take a look, mate. I don't know enough about him, to be fair. The only silver lining for United is that United content creators are making it peak like AFTV. It's not a silver lining though, because it's honestly, I would take Man United winning every day than going viral.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy this content. Like I generally don't enjoy just being here and being angry. I know it generates.
But you don't enjoy it. We enjoy it, Staffy.
Yeah,
We
but
enjoy
I'm
it.
just saying, like,
Our enjoyment.
No, but he's saying it's a silver. Like I hate seeing myself getting clipped up on Twitter. Where I look at myself, I was like, that's how I reacted. That's how I behaved. Because I just don't think of it. It's just like I look at it, I'm like, wow, was I really that angry?
I reacted to
I'd rather
yours
talk
on
about how
morning.
good the team is.
I'll be honest with you though. I got up today and made my content really early, and I went out and did the big one. I went and did some retail therapy today. I went JD. I went to Zara.
I went JD every Friday now. See, you're right.
I went JD. Yeah, I went JD, and then I went Zara, and then I went to what's the other shop? Gant. And then I went to Joe's Juice, and I just bought loads of clothes I didn't really need. And I'm just like, I needed something to cheer myself up. Do you know what I mean? I was such a bad mood when I woke up today. Honestly, it needed to be lifted. Obviously a big weekend of football ahead. We're doing more previews. We've got to do the top 6 show at 6 p.m. today. So we're going to cover more of the games there. But I wanted to ask you, Lawless, about this Arsenal defense. It got a lot of plaudits in the week from some people, but equally, it got a lot of criticism from others. You know, they look almost unbeatable at the moment as a team. The centre-backs are doing brilliantly, but a lot of people kind of condemning the way they play, that they are too negative. But I wanted to ask you about Saliba and Gabriel. Do you think they are the best 2 centre-backs in European football at this particular moment in time?
All the subjects you've had to bring me in for, it has to be Arsenal right now. Yeah, like listen, you can't really look past them. Like if they're not, and obviously it pains me to say this, if they're not the best, then you know they're top 3. Like they've been an excellent partnership, and Saliba obviously he's been linked with Real Madrid and things like that. Like he's come along just massively from where he was obviously loaned out, and he's hit the ground running. And Gabriel, I think this is, this past say 6 months or so, he's looked stronger than ever. So that's a huge bonus for them. But obviously, I'm not taking anything away from him, Arsenal fans are so ready for me to shit on him, but Arsenal playing in a more pragmatic way is only going to help them. So ultimately, that's been a massive success for them. And they say defenses win titles. So this defense right now looks like a title winning defense. But, as a team, we'll see if they can get over the line. Like, listen, Arsenal fans, can I be any nicer than that? I don't want you slating me because I've just said that. Can I be nicer than that? That's pretty nice. Like I want all the Arsenal fans now to say really nice things about me and how I've bigged up your club, because I think that was pretty positive, right? You're there. So we'll see this season if they do get over the line, or if they maybe get a little bit of a help with a points deduction. But we can't look past Liverpool, who I think a lot of people are looking past, and even, and I hate to say this, Chelsea as Don's there. You know what I mean? So I think the competition is going to be a lot wider this season when it comes to the title.
And I'm happy. I'm happy Maresca came out today. I'm happy Maresca came out today and basically said, like, we're not going to compete with Arsenal and City, right? Because I want us to just be in the shadows, bro. I want us to be like ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
because he
put
did what you did. Never, he didn't give a clear answer, and if it happens, he's gonna be like, "Oh, no one gave us respect." Yeah, you're the one who told us not to give you that respect.
Listen,
Maresca might be AI, and you're controlling him.
That's good, bro. Keep it that way, because I know behind closed doors, he is not saying that to the players, bro. Behind closed doors, he's going to be telling these lot, yo, we need to be winning every single game. As soon as he came in, he said, we work every day, every day, every day. Have you not heard how he talks, bro? That's how he talks, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Do that accent.
Do you know what I love about it, right? When a manager's struggling or people don't like him, and he does what Maresca has done, which is essentially tell a white lie, a PR lie. People go, pathological liar, tell us the truth. When you're happy with your manager and you're playing well, no one gives it. That's why I think sometimes you have to take your sort of frustration away and go, is what I'm saying logical across the board? No one cares when Pep lies about a player's availability. No one's calling Maresca a pathological. I bet he thinks you are much closer than, but he wants to take the pressure away. So this just goes to prove that there are times when you shouldn't, where it's tactical to not tell the complete truth. And I don't look at those things as lying or telling the truth, being honest or dishonest. I look at them all as part of the mind games that are sport, as an example, if that makes sense. And they just exist at the end. They have to exist. You know, one of my oldest and closest friends when I was growing up was Michael Venom Page. I bumped into his brother today when I was out shopping in Bluewater. And when you watch the way he is in the ring now, or you watch the way he was on the mats when we did like points fighting when we were younger, you go, arrogant guy. He isn't. He's one of the nicest, most sweetest men in the world. He's so humble, even now of all his success. But he would, part of his reason for doing that, it would make the person he was fighting a little bit angry. I'm going to get him, and it'd overextend, it'd open up more, and he'd be able to take him out. So he wasn't being fake and showing off a fake side of himself and not being real. It was a tactic to help him win more fights. And I think that sometimes we kind of overanalyze what managers say and do and turn it into, oh, he's dishonest. You know, he should be sacked because he's a liar. No, he isn't dishonest in the way you're making it sound. But yeah, no, I get why Maresca has said that. In terms of Arsenal, Don, have you, after the last few games, you know, they're excellent against PSG, scored goals. Is your mind starting to change about how they play football yet?
I think there's been improvements in their attack. I think Martinelli, for example, he's starting to attack with a little bit more intent on that side, which is good. Obviously, Saka, like I said, against Leicester, they're the sort of performances I know he has in him. And that's why I'm harsh on him, because I've seen him play like that before. I just don't see it consistently. Havertz with another goal as well. You know, I think PSG, they had to do the job. But for me, PSG without a striker, it honestly played into Arsenal's hands, man, because you've got Saliba and Gabriel, the best pairing in Europe. They were having a picnic, Terry. They had no one that was threatening them down the middle, you know. So it was very easy to defend against them. But even so, they still had to win, you know, and it was a good performance. But again, we need to see it carry on now in the league. We need to see them start being a little bit more fluid up top, because we know going the other way, they're very good. But in attack, they just need to find that balance. But at the minute, it seems like they're not really missing Odegaard. They've got over that tough period, which they'll be happy about. They've got some easier fixtures coming up now as well. So, yeah, as an Arsenal fan right now, it's looking good, man.
No, I bet it certainly is. I think they are. And they've got an easy game this weekend. They play Southampton. Are they home or away for that? I don't actually know.
They're gonna beat Southampton.
Home.
There's no chance.
Yeah, they're gonna smash Southampton up. And I think they've been waiting for a few of these games, Arsenal, in recent weeks. Yeah, that's 3 p.m. They'll smash 3 or 4. I think just like Leicester, they'll smash 3 or 4 goals past them with no problems whatsoever.
Let me just say,
go on, mate.
What do you call it? Timber. Because now it goes to show how these lot love to overrate Ben White, bro. Yeah? Because I've been telling my boys for time that White it's not gonna take much to upgrade on that guy. Nah, Ben White is the best right back in the league. Nah. I said, bro, Ben White is good. Yeah, don't get it twisted. He's been playing well for you lot. But honestly, you can find better than him in that position. And for me, I literally said, as soon as Timber comes back, it won't take long for him to displace Ben White. Right now, they'll use the excuse of, but Ben White's not injured. Ben White's injured right now. He can't play. Use your eyes, bro. Timber is better in that position. Yeah, Timber has to be in your 11, and he has to play at right back because he's better than Ben White. Defensively, I think he's better than him. On the ball, I think he's better than him. You know, he can actually invert into that midfield, look a lot more comfortable than Ben White. He's just a better player, right? So it took this guy to come out the team for them to realize that, yo, actually, he might not be that good. Do you get it? So yeah, Timber needs to stay fit, man. He's definitely one of their main players. I like him. He's a good player.
Yeah, look, I think Ben White's very, very good. I just think that there is the potential for Urin Timber and I would say Calafiori to be better. And this is the thing, though. It doesn't mean they were wrong about how good Ben White is if those two end up being better as an example, if that makes sense. I want to play a game with you, though, Dom. I want to play a game. And you've seen this. They've done this a lot on social recently. I'm going to name the centre backs currently in the world, and then I want to see which one stays on to the end until you say they're the best, if that makes sense. So it's going to be so-and-so versus so-and-so in this game. So we're going to start off with Upper Meccano or Delit.
Jesus. Upper Meccano, I don't rate that guy. But I don't really rate Delit like that either. I don't really watch enough of Bayern, to be honest, to really, really comment. But if I had to pick between the two, I'll probably pick Delit.
Just say a name, brother. We don't need explanation.
Upper Meccano.
Delit.
There's no wrong answer.
Delit or Christian Romero?
Romero
or Nathan Ake?
Ooh, that's a good one. Romero
or Kim Min Jae?
Romero
or Gabriel or Ruben Diaz?
Ooh, Diaz
or Bastoni?
Diaz
or Rudiger or Saliba?
Ooh, fuck. Shit. Saliba, man. Saliba.
Saliba or Van Dijk?
Ooh. What, as in right now?
Right now.
I'll probably take Saliba over Van Dijk, for sure.
There you go. Saliba ended up on top there. Top.
There's no one better than Saliba right now, bro. There's no one better than him. No one.
Again, if I'm going to sign, if this is about signing a player now, as brilliant as Van Dijk is, you're signing Saliba over Van Dijk now because of the longevity element on there.
And that's you see him going around Madrid.
That's what Nobbins saying that KDB and that. Oh yeah, he won't swap KDB for Palmer. I was like, wait, what? Like KDB is literally on the verge of leaving the league. Why would you not swap him? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, Saliba, man, all day, man.
What was that you asked, Dan?
No, I was just saying, like, can you see Saliba going to Real Madrid? Obviously, he's been linked to the moves there.
I can. It looks like he looks like a Real Madrid move all over. Like, genuinely looks like that will happen. And that's not a dig. The only way it doesn't is if Arsenal start to win the major trophies and they pay him. I think they're going to end up having to put him on 400 grand a week and win the trophies to have any chance of keeping him. But I also feel like a lot of Arsenal fans are almost, I think they're quite accepting as long as they can win some major trophies with him and maybe a Champions League between now and say 3 years time when he goes, I think they'll accept it. There are just some players, when we had Cristiano Ronaldo, I just always knew he would leave and go Real Madrid. It just felt, and there are certain players that look destined for it. And
you think he'll be there for another 3 years at Arsenal still? You think
two or three?
They're adjusting their center back next summer, so they better get ready.
What do you reckon it'll be this summer?
I mean, they've got Ben White in reserve. They've got Ben White in reserve. So when Saliba leaves, Ben White can play in that position, right?
Because they have Militao, who's injury prone since his ACL. They got Alaba, I think they're gonna get rid of him soon. I think the Lenny Euro deal not happened in Madrid. As much as Arsenal fans laughed at us, that was probably the worst thing that would have happened to them. Because if they would have gotten Euro, I think they wouldn't have been talking about Saliba. Now that they didn't get Euro, they're gonna go and address their center back issues next summer, and the number one option for them is gonna be Saliba. So,
just looking at his profile now, I don't know. His contract runs out in 2027. So even this summer, you've got 3 years left. I mean, it's one of those things. Selling him now, you're going to get maximum value because by next summer, you go into the last 2 years, unless they can. But if they don't sell in this summer, they have to get him to sign a new deal that extends it to say 2029, that pays him huge money, because then you're guaranteed. What do you get for him now? Like, I don't think 100 million, 120 million. Would you say it's about right?
You're probably looking at
centre back
just over 100 million, probably.
Yeah, well, his market value currently stands at around 90 million, and that's he's got 3 years left on his deal, so you're going to have to pay over that, surely.
You're gonna have to pay.
Yeah, he's gonna cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah,
and they have a French. They have a French core in that team, so he'll fit in well. He's gonna go there. If he goes there, they got Camavinga, Tchouameni, Mbappe. They have a bit of a French revolution going on over there, so he kind of fits what they're trying to do. They were also in for Romero, so one of the North London teams is gonna lose their center back. I'm gonna be real with you.
Imagine though you don't get Saliba and you end up. Imagine going in for Saliba and walking out with Romero.
Romero's very good.
Yeah, but no, he is very good. But there is still a
There's a bit of a gap.
Difference.
I mean, ideally, both of them. No, I said there is a gap, but ideally, it's like you look at it. They got Rudiger. I just can't picture a center back partnership of Romero and Rudiger.
God.
Like that center back partnership is gonna give us comedy 24/7. Like it's gonna be a beautiful watch. You know?
There are times where that's gonna be elite and amazing. There are other times where it's gonna be like the Chuckle Brothers. Not that you're gonna get the Chuckle. Do you understand the Chuckle Brother reference? Staffy?
No, I just pictured something else. I pictured the Dudley boys in WWE. They're gonna be 3D attackers.
Not overly dissimilar, if I'm being honest. This here says, Don, would you swap Enzo for Tchouameni?
The answer should be yes.
They don't even play in the same position, bro.
That's not the question.
Yeah, that's
though,
fine.
is it?
They don't really
It's
play
like
in
me
the same
saying, would you
position.
swap your iPhone for?
It depends.
I don't know.
Like Enzo. Yeah, it's a weird question because Enzo is again, people listen to what I'm saying before you lot say you're comparing him to Cruz. Enzo is a Cruz type profile, right? Enzo is a Cruz type profile in terms of how
Tony Cruz. Oh my God.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's the sort of profile he is. He gets the ball, he keeps the game ticking, he keeps the ball moving. That sort of profile. Tchouameni's more there to break up play, that sort of thing. They're different players, man. I don't need that because I've got Caicedo and Lavia.
Yeah,
there we go. Terry, your new studio is looking nice with the black curve table. Yes, if you remember, you've seen all those pictures. I posted in the group chats for these guys. We'll be setting that all up over the international break, ready for the return of the Premier League. Who argues about football at 3 a.m? Weird. I mean, depends on what. Again, it might not be 3 a.m. to somebody. Somebody might be like 9 p.m, right? But to DM me at 3 a.m. in the morning, to call me a hypocrite because you thought that hypocrite meant we disagree. it was a mad one to me. I mean, by the way, I was replying at like 9 a.m. I was not awake at that time. I finished my streams in the evenings and I go to bed because I have to get up and walk a dog and I've got kids to feed. Staffy, are the Yankees winning it all?
I don't watch baseball, but I got invited to the playoffs this week, and I said no. But I hope they win. I want New York to win. I like all my locals to win.
It upsets me seeing Man United like this. I'm an Arsenal fan. I miss my rivalries. Oh, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. I did. That rivalry was epic.
Man, you ain't seen that rivalry. Yes, man. You know what I'm saying? The recent rivalry was Chelsea and United, bro. Yeah, you know, ain't seen that shit since the 90s.
That was good as well. But do you know what it was as well, though? What Man United and Chelsea didn't get was Fergie versus Jose, because we won we kind of did a little bit in 06-07, but then before it started to get really heated, like Jose got sacked. Where with Arsenal, because it was the same manager and it was over such a long period of time. I just feel that it resonates. Like we had a rivalry with Chelsea, but Man United's rivalry with Arsenal was Man United Arsenal. You know, it was Keane Vieira, it was Fergie Wenger. There were so many components to it that were just a little bit different for me. I liked all of them, but yeah, Arsenal in my lifetime, the Man United Arsenal one was, in terms of competitive rivalry, that was my favorite.
My real hate for United, yeah, it arose when Anelka. Listen, I still remember that day vividly, bro. Because when Anelka was stepping up, I said he's gonna miss. I could just tell. I just knew he was gonna miss. Yeah, Terry was just a kick away from fucking winning us that league, Champions League. Sorry, that's when I was like rattled, bro. I cried, bro. That day was the first time I cried over football. I swear to God.
The football gods got John Terry that day, because you remember when Drogba got sent off for slapping Tevez?
Yeah.
He spat, like he snotted on purpose on Tevez. And when I saw that, I was like, the football gods are going to get you. Because for me, I'd rather a man punch me in the face than spit or snot on me personally. I'd rather get punched. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, the football gods will get you. And they did. They got him nice, bro. They got him nice. Seen Rudiger's interview. He said he would sign Saliba for Real Madrid. Him, Milito and Saliba can rotate. Also, as a Madrid fan, Terry, that Sam guy chat shit. Sam's all right. He's a nice lad.
Sam wanted Ancelotti out. I met Sam last season. He wanted Ancelotti out in the beginning of the season, and he ended up winning the Champions League.
Yeah, he said that he's going to give it until Christmas, and then he's going to start tweeting Ancelotti out. That's what he said yesterday or Wednesday. More competition is good for Arsenal. We need teams to give City the run for their money. But it is actually true. I think having Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool that can all take points off City and everything else can make it easier for Arsenal, as long as yes, as long as they don't take points off you. Like, you've got to beat those. Although they have beaten Villa so far in that list, but no, I do agree with that completely. Boys, look, I want to thank you all for coming on and having
why don't we talk about West Ham? When are we going to talk about West Ham on one of these?
Yeah, these man. Hey, these lot sitting on 5 points.
This is Big Six talk.
No, it's not. This is straight facts. It's not the Big Six show. What are you talking about?
Steph, you've woken me up. You've woken me up, man. Why does Mudryk have more GNA than Kudus? What's going on?
Well, no. That's not the right question. Why is Kudus beefing your manager? Why are you tweeting that your manager is injured and that's why you're not winning? What is going on?
Well, first of all, they don't have sarcasm in America, obviously.
No, this is not an American question. We all sat here and questioned the same thing. We just want to know, bro.
Yeah, listen, Kudus is being played out of position. We want to talk about this, and it's okay for
hang on.
I
I've got to call you out on something, though, bruv. I forgot about this. This. Have I still got it? What do you mean that you couldn't play well because your manager was injured? What do you mean?
Do you know what? When I wrote this tweet, I sat there and was like, I don't need to put a laughing emoji in this. Like, people will get it's a joke, right? People will understand that. Yeah, I won't put it out. Leave the laughing emoji out and just put it like that.
Bruv,
and like all the West Ham fans got it, but everyone else is like messaging me going, what is this?
Oh, so it's not an American thing. Let me tell you why people believed it. Because we hear your football takes, okay? You sound deluded most of the times. So that's what you get. That's what you get. You said this team should be competing for top 5. And look where you are right now.
Listen, okay, but it's okay for Don to sit there and say, we would have finished top 4 if it weren't for Poch last season, and we should be doing this. I believe in the players.
Don't allow him to deflect, Don. Don't allow him to deflect.
I'm just saying, I believe in the players that we've got. We've got quality there. We just need it to click. And Lopetegui needs to hurry up and figure out his best team, his best lineup, right, and where them pieces go. And it's not Kudus on the left at all. And Kudus and Lopetegui, apparently they did have a blow up. But what player does not have a blow up with their manager when they get subbed off earlier than they think they should, right? We see it with Salah and Klopp and Trent and Klopp. We see it. It's just normal. If you're subbing a player off at half time and he's not pissed, you got a problem. And
I want to thank Lopetegui though, because he's diminishing his stocks right now. And I have a vision, okay? I have a vision, Kudos 2025. And you guys are really helping us right now because that price is not going up. Lawless, you have 1 win in 7 games with all these signings. That is not good enough, brother.
You have a vision, You have a vision.
It's coming
Man United 14th, So don't even ever think that you could sign a player like Kudus. Get your own team stocks up.
Of course we can. We will continue this conversation next week because I've got a shoot because I've got another show at 6 that I've got to get ready for the top 6 show. We've got the PSG fan that went viral.
What Lawless on that show? Put him on that show.
Come on the show. Yeah, come on that one, Lawless. We've got the PSG fan that went viral this week who's going to be on that show. This video now is going to take you through to Hassam's channel. So go and support his video right now. And we'll see you all back here at 6 p.m. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Ten Hag out.